Welcome to Hena's epic Armageddon battle report. This is a 3000 point game between Imperial Guard Steel Legion and Orks. The lists are NetEA lists, and there will be a URL in the description. Then let's look at the armies. First, Imperial Guard, and here's the list. So, into the formations. Here we have a squadron of sentinels. Then we have a flak battery. Then we have a tank company with additional Hydra. Then we have a pair of Thunderbolts, a battery of Manticores, a battery of Basilisks, a Bombards, and then we have a Regimental HQ. Then there is a Super Heavy Tank company of Shadow Swords. And finally we have Stormtroopers with Valkyries. And that's the Imperial Guard. Then into the Orks. Here is the list. First we have a warband with wagons. Then we have a big gun mob. We have 3 fighter bombers. Here is a Stompa mob with Super Stompa and some kilograms. And then we have a big Blitz Brigade with 2 Odd Boys. Then we have Cult of Speed. Then we have another big Blitz Brigade with Odd Boys. Then we have Landa with Mob and Extra Boy and Grot. Another 3 fighter bombers. And then we have some Ork objectives. All the Odd Boys in this army are Sopa guns. And that's it for Orks. Then on to deployment. So, Orks put in first, and they garrison the big guns into the center, on the forest. And then Imperial Guard puts down sentinels on the craters opposite of the big guns. And then also the Stormtroopers are garrisoned from the Blitz, and they take up positions in the buildings. Then normal deployment, and first the Orks put in the mechanized warband into the buildings there, just on the edge of the city. Imperial Guard respond with tank company into the center. The Orks put 1 Blitz Brigade into their right flank, and Imperial Guard sets Manticores near the Blitz behind the buildings. The Cult of Speed goes on the far left flank there, and the flak battery goes between the Manticores and tank company there. Then Blitz Brigade, and Imperial Guard at this point make sure that there is no 5 cm intermingling accidentally happening. So there we go with the Bombards, and they go into the forest partially to get some cover. Then the Stompa mob, which is deployed behind a forest. The idea here is to make sure that they are hidden from the Shadow Swords, which then immediately are deployed on the opposite edge, in hopes that some of them move out. And then finally, the last formation is the Regimental HQ, which is deployed on the corner there. The idea here is that the Regimental HQ is going to move through the city using buildings as much as possible. So here's the deployment overall. And yes, so we have Shadow Swords on the flank with Bombards and tanks, and then the infantry formations are within the city. The Orks have Cult of Speed and warband there with Blitz, and the center is being held by guns and stompas. And finally we have the other Blitz Brigade there. So, here we go, on to turn 1. The Orks win the initiative, and Blitz Brigade 1 doubles forwards. They move to put some shots in at the Shadow Swords, not do any damage. However, retaining the Landa comes in and drops the Orks for an engage on the Shadow Swords. Hydra fires but doesn't do damage on the Landa, and then they countercharge a bit. And this goes horribly bad for Imperial Guard, as 2 of the Shadow Swords are destroyed, while they, I think, did not even do any damage to the Orks, so that went horribly bad for the Guard. The Shadow Swords took 1 damage and critted, and then the second one lost resolution. So then the bombards fire whilst they still are unbroken, so they target the big guns in the forest, doing some damage. Tank company engages. Now the aim here is that I want to remove both the Landa and the Orks, so I engage them both, and if I win, then the Landa is destroyed. Unfortunately, that goes horribly bad, and I lose the combat by 1, and the tank company is also broken. So that's our 1000 points lost. Also, the bombards were in a support fire range, so they took 1 blast marker and break. Well, now that the Shadow Swords are not an issue, since there is only 1 and that's broken, the Stomp 'em Up doubles from behind the forest and gets in the range to fire some shots. They gave 2 blast markers to the center. Then it's the Guard, and they use Manticore to break the Blitz in there. Then the Cult of Speed, which doubles, and they just move the center behind the ruin to prepare for the next turn push into the center of the table, and they don't want to go too far into the regimental HQ. Then the Thunderbolts come in and they destroy 1 Scorcher from the cult. So then it's the big guns, and they sustain fire and kill 3 more of the Sentinels, and the Sentinels are broken and they hide. Then it's the Stormtroopers, which double. Now this is then my second option, that I had to fight the Landa mob, since the transports have barrage weapons, destruct barrage weapons, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to break and that's how it goes. So I break the Landa, and since it's within 15 centimeters, it's automatically destroyed, because it can't escape. And the Orks then run behind the forest. Then Fighter Bomber 1 comes in, and they fire. Don't manage to hit the bombards, but destroy 1 since they are broken. Then it's the Regimental HQ, and they try to double but fail to activate, and they just advance, because they want to get away from the corner as much as possible to get into the fray. And there we go. That's it. And then the Mechanized Warband from Orks, they double and just move a bit ahead into the buildings and the ruins. They're not eager either to start charging across the table. Just yet. Then it's Imperial Guard, and the flak doubles. They move to the center and shoot some shots at the Blitz, but don't really do anything. Then the Fighter Bomber 2, which makes ground attack against the Manticores, but they don't do anything either. So here is what it looks like at the end of the turn. The orcs are moving in, while the guard seem to have stalled so they can't move out. So here's the stormtroopers, fight the bombers, the broken tanks and artillery in the center, flak forward, and in here we have the regimental HQ and the manticores. From the orcs we have the broken blitz in the behind, then the mechanized warband, and cult of speed, guns and stomps, and the other blitz brigade. So, on to turn 2. Sorry, first, withdrawal at the end of the turn. The Landa mob fails rally and moves to the forest, and the sentinels fail to rally from guard and they move there, but the tanks did rally. So, turn 2. Orks. The Blitz Brigade sustain fires at the stormtroopers, destroying 2 vultures, Valkyries, and some on infantry stand. Then the Blitz Brigade 2, which doubles. So they move the center there. And then the flak, which holds. Even with Supreme Commander, they fail to do anything. So then the cult of speed, and they move into the ruins near the broken sentinel with intentions of utterly wiping it out. And there goes the last sentinel. Poof. So then it's bombards and they sustain fire with 2 blast barrage points and manage to kill both hot boys from the big guns. The big guns then regroup since they've lost too many units, so they shuffle a bit to get some guys forward and remove blast markers. Then the manticores, which sustain fire and break the Blitz Brigade again. Stomp 'em up then tries to sustain as well, but fails and holds and destroys 2 of the flaks, leaving the lone to take cover in the buildings. Then Tank Company, which tries to double and holds, remove blast markers, and fight the bomber, which make ground attack, not killing anything. Then the stormtroopers, which double. So the fight the bombers tried to attack, I think, the stormtroopers, but didn't manage to do anything. So the stormtroopers then double, and they are firing at the Blitz Brigade, destroying 1 tank. And that was the last rockets of the transports. And then another set of fight the bombers, and this time they lose 1 to the Hydra in Tank Company, but they also destroy 1 of the bots. Then the Shadow Sword, which moves a bit to get in range of the Blitz and then fires, removing some fields from the Super Stomp. So, then the Mechanized Warband, and they double, and they take the positions where the sentinels used to be, taking cover from the craters. And that's the last. And then it's the regimental HQ, and they double as well, and they now are going to occupy the objective area, and I've decided that I'll try to do my best to damage the cult of speed while I'm doing this. So at first they move the positions in there, and then the rest move to get into the range of the cult of speed to get some shots at them. And they manage to destroy 2. Not enough to break them, unfortunately. So then Thunderbolts try to finish the job, and they break the cult, leaving only a couple of them alive, and they move there. Broken. So this is that situation at the end of turn 2. The regimental HQ has pushed in on the flank, and the stormtroopers have managed to push back on the other flank. So the guard is trying to bounce back from the catastrophic start. The center is still kind of heavily held by the Orks, while the tank company is trying to sort itself out at the back behind. And that's what it looks like on the flank. There's the regimental HQ. So, then withdrawals, and the wallback still broken, and they move to another forest. And then turn 3. So Orks start with Stomp Move doubling, and they wheel around the forest to get some shooting at the regimental HQ with their Sobakams. And there we go, a couple of units killed from the regimental HQ. The Imperial Guard then sustain fires with stormtroopers and break the Blitz Brigade, which then withdraws to the Blitz. Then it's the Manticores, which retain using the Supreme Commander and sustain fire at the Orks, but only kill a couple of Crots and do some blast markers. So really worthless firing there. Then it's the Orks and Blitz Brigade, which rallied, so the Orks managed to rally quite a lot of troops in this turn. So the Blitz Brigade with 4 units moves to contest the Blitz, and then they also wipe out or break the Hydra, which had managed to rally. So then the Shadow Sword, it regroups, removes the 1 blast marker, and fires again at the Super Stomp. There we go. 1 damage, and some blast markers. Then the Mechanized Warband, which doubles, and it seems to realize that perhaps this is not so neat place to be, and they shuffle a bit behind, get farther away from the center. There we go. Then it's the Thunderbolts and the Imperial Guard, and they just shoot at the Blitz Brigade in order to break it, to make sure that the Blitz isn't contested. So the Blitz breaks and moves back. Fight the Bomber 2 makes a ground attack, daring to attack the regimental HQ, but doesn't really manage to do anything. Then the tank company, and they advance. So basically for us, the craters don't block line of sight, so they get to mow the Orks as heavily as they can. And that's the result of the whole company firing. So the Orks are broken and they huddle around the 1 crater. Then the Fight the Bomber 1, which makes a ground attack. Doesn't do anything. Regimental HQ, which tries to double out but fails. And finally the big guns, which actually manage to do double. So they again just are repositioning themselves and then firing a little at the stormtroopers, managing to actually kill 1 battery. So that's the end of the turn 3. No victory at this point, so we continue. And yeah, so the tanks are trying to force the Orks out of the center, while the stormtroopers are trying to hold the flank. On the right flank there is some bunch of broken formations, and then the regimental HQ, which failed to get out of the objective, and the center is also held by the Stompas and the big guns, with the 1 broken Blitz Brigade in the end. So end phase withdrawals, the Orks Blitz Brigade fails to rally, so they decide to... First they even thinking going forwards, but then realize that that's not gonna work. So they move back. So, turn 4, and Stomp 'em Up tries to sustain fire, fails, but holds and shoots at the regimental HQ, killing more of them. Then Manticore switch to sustain fire at the Blitz, failing to do anything. So then it's the Fight the Bombers, and they attack, do some damage. There we go. The regimental HQ is taking a pounding but not breaking. Then the Shadow Sword, which sustains fire at the Super Stompa and doesn't actually destroy it, so 2 points of damage, not broken. Then the Fight the Bombers, which fail to activate. Stormtroopers, they double. So my idea in here is now to push out, try to first of all get someone to take the objective in the center and also create a crossfire to the Stompa mob. So they fire at the big guns, don't manage to break it, but that's fine. So the Cult of Speed on the Orks, they move to Blitz, again to contest the objective. And then it's this tank company, which now takes advantage of the crossfire. So they advance forwards and plan on breaking the Stompa mob. And that's indeed what happens. So the Super Stompa is destroyed, as is another Stompa, and the mob is broken. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of the formations to try to capitalize it by trying to break their spirit, because I don't have formations to destroy it. So then it's the Orks and the big guns, they double, and they move out of the forest in order to contest both Blitz and take and hold objectives. At this point I'm thinking, okay, so I have to try to win, so I need my own side. So the Thunderbolts make a ground attack and wipe out the Cult of Speed from the... There we go. Or did they actually... Yeah, they managed to kill one and break it. So now the objectives on my side is controlled, so I have one defend the flag. And then the Blitz moves out to protect the... Blitz Brigade moves out to protect the Blitz, and then Regimental HQ fails to activate yet again, so they are stuck. And this is the end of the turn 2. Turn 4, sorry. So, no victory, I have defended flag, but nothing else. However, we roll the die, and we do not go to the 5th turn, as is expected. So what we do is we start counting the points, and the end result is a clear victory for the Imperial Guard with over 1,000 point difference in the victory points. So it's a minor victory for the Guard, because the Regimental HQ just failed to activate for the 2 last turns. If I could have activated them, I could have taken the victory with them, but no. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed the battle. That's the software I used. The music is by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks for watching. Bye!